Well,
Yeah,
let's talk
right.
to Coach Steve Fisher because the Aztecs won this week at home against Fresno State in a very, very tough game. And now they've got UNLV coming in, and UNLV's coming off a big win at New Mexico. So here is San Diego State basketball coach Steve Fisher back on the Scott and BR show on the Mighty 1090. Coach, good evening.
Hello, Scott, BR, Linda. I want you to bring back a video of you jumping off the stratosphere, though. I want to see it to believe it.
Coach, all you have to do is go to YouTube and type in Scott Kaplan jumps off the stratosphere, and you will see it with your own eyes.
I hope I'm not reading about it in the paper, so
No.
I'll do that.
No,
I'll
Coach,
do that.
no one has ever gotten hurt or died, and a guy just jumped off, I swear to you, within the absolute last 3 seconds of us having this conversation, and everybody here is doing the exact same thing, looking over the balcony to see how it all finishes, to see if he splatters.
Well, good luck. I'm going to check it out for myself.
All right. Coach Fisher, let's start off by talking about what happened earlier this week against Fresno State. And I thought yesterday Mark Ziegler did such a great job in the paper of encapsulating the game in one paragraph. I even kept it up here in Vegas. You talked about having to grind out some wins, and he writes, what does that mean? It means you missed 36 shots and claimed 15 free throws, and you're out-rebounded 38-37 by a team that starts no one taller than 6'7", and you trail by 8 in the first half, and you don't make a basket over the final 8:01, but you still win because you get to the free throw line 41 times, plus 28 points from your point guard, and you hold the opposition under 40% shooting, and you only have 4 turnovers. Coach, what a very, very strange game, but that paragraph really sums it up quite well, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Without a doubt, we had a hard time making layups. We had so many in that came out, and you've been there. You have those, and when that happens, you have to find ways to grind out a win, and they use that term also to be successful, and we did that. And for that, I'm proud. 4 turnovers, which is incredible against anybody. That allowed us 7, 8 more shots. And even though we missed 15 free throws, we shot 41. We got to the line a tremendous amount of times. All the things you have to do to keep it close, we did. All the things you have to do to win, we also did.
And Coach, I mean, when your team is missing bunnies, when they're missing layups and sure shots and things like that, and what is your message to them other than, guys, you've done this before. I've seen it happen.
BR, we talked at halftime. One of my themes was slow down. You're trying to do things too fast. When we put the ball to the floor to drive, it was as if we had to get there in a millisecond. Mm-hmm. Slow down when you get an angle, and be under control, be on balance when you shoot it. So I thought we got a little better when we did that. And yet, I'm also going to give a little credit to Fresno. Even though they have a record that's under 500, they played so hard, and they did things. When they got shots, they had balls. They had one ball that bounced. It looked like it was going to go over the backboard and went straight up and in. They made some shots. Right. They made some shots that were contested, and they did a good job to keep the game the way it was. So we always say, well, you didn't play well, you didn't do this, but sometimes it's the other team that creates those kinds of things also. But Mike Mays, ever the publicist, he said this year there have been, I'm going to be close, 452 games that a team has shot 33% or less, and only 25 times has that team won the game. So we found a way to win the game, which at the end of the season will be significant.
Yeah, and that's the way I look at it, Coach. I mean, I'm a cup is half full kind of guy, and when you're not playing your best and you're not making a lot of shots, but yet you're still finding a way, and I'll use that phrase again, to grind out a win in conference, to me that's a great way to win. Especially when, I wonder what you think about this, maybe, the team kind of feeling the number 10 ranking and sort of the pressure that perhaps comes with that?
I don't know that we're feeling that, Scott, but I do think we're well aware we've won 30 some odd straight games against the California teams, and this was a California team, that you better win at home, which we were playing at home. I think that adds to the stress, a game that you're supposed to win, and you look up, and at one time we were down 8 points, and so I think you do get a little bit uptight when that happens, but you can't. It's easy for me to say, but you have to take a deep breath and say, it's a 40-minute game. It's a long time. We have to deal with the next possession and find a way to get a stop when we're on defense, find a way to get a basket when you're on offense, and if you're doing that, eventually you'll be okay. But I do think we got a little anxious. How much is related to that? I don't know. I don't want to believe we're playing uptight. I do know that when you play a team that everybody says is better than you, and everybody said that in Fresno read it, then that team is a little more motivated also. Not unlike when we went to Kansas and played. Nobody thought we were going to win except our group, and you're a little more, let's prove to them that we are good.
Which you did. No doubt about it. Coach Steve Fisher on Scott and BR on the Mighty 1090. Coach, tomorrow, 3:05 tip against UNLV at Viejas Arena. We know it's going to be a packed house. We know the fans will be crazy. But UNLV is a good team, and they're coming off a really big, impressive win on the road at New Mexico. If you could, scout out UNLV for us.
UNLV came in with the season with great expectations. They have wonderful talent. They've got a lot of new talent to blend in, junior college kids, guys that have sat out. And I believe they've lost 5, maybe 6 home games. And that doesn't happen to UNLV. But they played the toughest schedule of anybody in the conference for sure, and maybe in the country. They played Arizona State when they were ranked at their place and probably should have beaten them but didn't. They played Illinois and lost a 1-point game when Illinois was ranked. They went to Tucson, played University of Arizona, as well as anybody with the exception of Michigan has played them. Probably should have won the game, but they didn't. And then they lost a couple that they should have won. So everybody's saying they're this, they're that, they can't do this. And I do think that now they might be better playing on the road than they are at home. They have a home fan base that's very spoiled. And they boo them when they're not playing well, rather than the Viejas crew that when we're struggling, they cheer like crazy, even that much harder to keep us going. But they had a great win at New Mexico at the pit and won the game. They're big. They're athletic. They're a lot like us. They want to score out of transition when they can. They want to guard you really hard. They're an exceptional rebounding team. And they have the number one. We think we have the best rebounder, but statistically, Roscoe Smith is the number one rebounder in the conference. And the two-headed monster, Kent Birch, who blocked 10 shots against us last year in the 2 games, they are tough to deal with inside. So they're a good team.
Well, it should be a great game. It should be a great environment. And I would think that this San Diego State team will be as fired up and as ready to play as they have been all season long. Coach, have a great weekend. Good luck. Coach, how about a prediction on the AFC and NFC title games before you go?
Well, I'd be guesstimating, but I'll be with you. I think Denver. I think the 2 home teams are going to win because they're at home. They're 4 terrific teams, and I get the privilege to babysit Max Stevens on Sunday, so he and I are gonna have a good bonding watching 2 football games on Sunday afternoon.
Nice.
I hope they're great games, go down to the last few seconds, and maybe even one of them going to overtime. But I'm going with the home teams.
All right, very good, Coach Fisher. Hey, Coach, good luck tomorrow. Hope that you guys get a big win, and we really do appreciate the time. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, folks. We're open too. We need our fans like they have been, and we're 15-1, as everybody knows, 14-game win streak. So we want to make it 15 in a row.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, real quick, are you familiar with the rap group Kid and Play?
What's the name of it?
Kid and Play.
I will show my age and say I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, J.J. O'Brien's high top fade haircut is kind of an ode to the lead singer, the lead guy. His name is Kid. He was on the show earlier today talking about J.J. O'Brien's haircut and wants to come to a San Diego State game, is a huge Coach Fisher fan dating back to the Fab Five days. So we got to introduce J.J. to the guy who, really made the high top fade cool way back in the late 80s.
Well, here's what you do when you get back. You find out when he wants to come. We'd love to have him come as our guest.
All right, done deal. There you go. Coach, thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, gang. Thank you very much. Bye, Linda.
Coach sounds like he knew less about Kid and Play than you did.